Single-family homes are boring and predictable, but that's okay because boring will make you wealthy. Single-family homes in Hamilton, Ontario make for an amazing investment opportunity. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 reasons why I personally believe that Hamilton, Ontario is a great place for single-family home real estate investing. Hey, how's it going and welcome back to the channel. My name is Steve LoPresti. I'm a real estate agent, property manager, and real estate investor here in Hamilton, Ontario. If you like this video and you found some value in it, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions about investing in Hamilton, Ontario real estate, feel free to reach out to me. My contact info is down in the description. So the first reason to invest in single family homes is that they are plentiful. Since single family homes as a category is pretty broad, it includes multiple different property types such as semi-detached, townhouses, detached homes, and so on. So because of this, there's plenty of opportunities and plenty of deals out there. So regardless of which property type you end up choosing, there's a couple things you're going to want to look for, which is roughly 3 to 4 bedrooms and around 1 to 2 full baths. The more bedrooms and the more bathrooms a property has, the better, as this will appeal to a much wider demographic of tenants, such as families who have children, working professionals who want to live together and split the rent. You also have tenants who work from home and need an office space, or couples that have one or more of their parents living with them, and so on. So if you're trying to scale up your portfolio, it'll be much easier to find properties that meet these criteria because there's just so much more of them. All right, so the second reason to invest in single family homes is that they have the benefit of high demand and strong appreciation. Single family homes always have relatively high demand. People always need a place to live regardless of what phase of the economic cycle we're in, which means you'll always have a high degree of interest from both renters and potential buyers. Keep in mind though that this usually applies to houses at a lower price point, such as starter homes. Luxury real estate is a bit of a different story. These types of houses are usually the first to lose their value during bad economic times just because of the lack of demand from buyers and potential tenants. The appreciation that single family homes in Hamilton have seen over the past decade is absolutely insane, and with the amount of population growth and demand that there is, there's no real reason for that to stop anytime soon. I strongly believe that anybody who buys a property today is going to be pretty happy when they see their equity in the next 5 to 10 years. All right, so the third reason to invest in single family homes in Hamilton is the tenants. Some investors say that single family homes are more likely to get a better tenant than, say, a multifamily property will, but I haven't found this necessarily to be a universal truth. It's rather something that's an individual judgment. I've seen good and bad tenants for both single family homes and for multifamily properties. So it's not really a principle that applies to the specific property type that one is guaranteed to get you good tenants and the other one's going to get you bad tenants. Now, one thing I will say about single family tenants is that usually it's a family or a couple moving in, and most times both of them are working. So if, say, for example, one of them loses their job, the other one still has an income coming in, and the likelihood of you getting paid rent is higher. Versus if you have a 1-bedroom apartment, it's only one individual living there, they lose their job, and now their income is completely cut off. So that might be a possible con. So you want to make sure that you are still doing your due diligence regardless of the property type and regardless of the tenant demographic. Whether it's a couple or a single individual, you still want to do the same due diligence with them regardless. When it comes to getting good quality tenants, it's less about the property type and more about the quality of the property itself. So if you have a property that's an absolute slum, you're going to attract the type of tenants that have much lower standards and are probably going to be a little bit harder to deal with. It's always best to fix the place up as best as you can. If you have the funds for it, do a quality renovation. That'll maximize your equity, but it'll also get you the best quality tenants and the best rental price. If you don't have the funds for that, that's okay. Just do the best you can with the resources you have at your disposal, such as changing out a couple fixtures or slapping on a fresh coat of paint or whatever you can just to make the place look a little bit more inviting and increase your chances of getting a higher quality tenant. So the fourth reason to invest in single family homes is the tenant turnover and vacancy. Single family homes tend to experience much less vacancy than other property types like multifamilies. This is because of the higher demand, like I previously mentioned, but also tenants who move into single family homes tend to stay for quite a while. When a family gets established in a home, they tend to rent for around 5 years on average before moving on. They don't want to be moving every single year and trying to find a new place and changing up their routines, learning a new neighborhood, finding new schools for the kids, and so on. A lot of times with single family homes, tenants will know well in advance that they will be moving out, which gives you plenty of time to advertise the unit, show it to new tenants, get a new lease signed, and get somebody to move in the very next day after they move out to eliminate any gaps in your rental income. Keep in mind though that you want to treat your tenants well, and this goes for all property types, not just single families. You want to treat them well so that they treat you well when the time comes for them to return the favor. So the fifth reason to invest in single family homes is that they are quite easy to manage. Since there's only one family, you only have to maintain one relationship. You don't have to mediate disputes between multiple tenants that are complaining about each other, noise levels, bad smells, barking dogs, and so on. There shouldn't be much babysitting. With single family homes, there'll also be less maintenance and less expenses. So since there's only one family living there, there's less things for them to break. There's only so many faucets that can get broken or light bulbs that can burn out, or windows that can get broken, and so on, just because it's just one house. Tenants are usually responsible for paying all the utilities in the house, which is just one less expense for you as an investor. Since they're easier to manage, you can probably handle it yourself, and you don't need to pay a property management company to do it for you, which will increase your cash flow. That's just one less expense. However, you start to scale up and you start getting 5, 6, 7 properties. At this point, you might start to want a property manager, just because you're managing now all these different relationships, and it's going to be a little bit more of a hassle. This is why it's important to budget for property management when you purchase the property, even if you are planning to manage it yourself, just because if you do eventually start scaling up, you're probably not going to want to be doing that yourself, because it's probably not the best use of your time. I recommend you handle the leasing and the property management for your first property by yourself. This way you can not only save money, but you can also learn how the process works. Later on, when you do decide to start scaling up and you want to outsource those tasks, you'll have a better understanding of the questions to ask the person you're hiring. And since you know what goes into the job, you'll have a better, more intuitive understanding of whether or not the person you hire is doing a good job or not. Single-family homes are a great way for investors to get started with real estate investing. They have a pretty low barrier to entry, they're quite easy to manage, and while it can be difficult to get one that has positive cash flow, especially in today's high interest rate environment, they do experience very strong appreciation. Single family homes are more of a long-term play. They won't make you rich today, but over time they will appreciate quite a bit. And if you combine that with finding a property that needs quite a bit of work and you're willing to do those renovations, you can dramatically increase the property value and therefore the equity in no time. However, it is still very, very important that you do your own research before you purchase anything. You're going to want to know the area, the rental rates, the ARV, the property taxes, the expenses, and so on. This is so that you can determine the price that makes sense to you to offer on the property, and then you don't go above that. You're also going to want to speak to a mortgage professional so you know how much you can qualify for. And then you combine all this data into determining whether or not that is a good property for you to purchase or not. Don't just find something that looks pretty and put in an offer, because it's not going to work out well for you. And you can't allow emotions to get involved in this process. You have to know your number and stick to it. Don't get involved in any bidding wars or anything like that. So if you would like to know more about buying single family homes in Hamilton, Ontario, or just investing in real estate in general, feel free to reach out to me. My contact info is down in the description. And if you liked this video and you found some value here, don't forget to like and subscribe, maybe leave a comment, let me know what type of videos you would like to see more of, which ones you'd like to see less of. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.